Alright guys, I did not think I was going to make this video again. This is something that really does kind of affect me, and it's really annoying. And it'd be one thing, there's like so much explanation I have to do. So literally Apple has a problem where they continuously decrease features and take out features of newer versions of iOS for older phones and older generation phones. So this is the iPhone 5S, iPhone 6, and iPhone 6 Plus. And the reason they keep going after these phones is because all these phones have 1 GB of RAM, right? And I made this video again the last time, like a couple months ago, because they took away group FaceTime, and I proved to everybody, and I proved that you could do group FaceTime on an iPhone 6, on an iPhone 5S, or an iPhone 6 Plus with a 1 GB of RAM based off the specs, just because there were other apps called House Party and stuff, and I was able to replicate group FaceTime, and it handled it just fine. There wasn't really too many problems with it. And if you want to see a little bit of a demonstration on that, I would recommend going to the video. I'll have it up in a card over here, so you can go to it. I don't want to like take up too much time and try to show off that, but I pretty much showed you guys that you are able to do that on an older iPhone. And again, this doesn't really affect me too much, but it affects a lot of people who watch these videos, and I know a lot of people out there are still using an iPhone 6, iPhone 5S, or iPhone 6 Plus. And another huge thing they just did, and another reason I get so like upset with them, is that they took away another feature, Siri shortcuts on the older generation of iPhones. So if you have an iPhone 6s like this, if you have an iPhone SE like that one, if you have any other iPhone like that, then you can still keep Siri shortcuts. But because an iPhone 6 is too slow of a phone, it cannot handle that because of the power consumption it uses. And the reason people found out about this was because Craig Federici, I don't remember his name, someone emailed him or something like that, and they said, is Siri shortcuts coming to iOS 12 on the older iPhones, more specifically the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Craig Federici, I honestly am butchering his name, but he basically replied back, because the iPhone, they didn't want to bog it down, and they don't want it to be less powerful or something, the older generation of iPhones will not be able to handle that. So they pretty much said the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, but that is also going for the iPhone 5S, because the iPhone 5S is even slower than the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. And that really made me wonder, what is it about the Siri shortcuts that the iPhone 6 cannot handle? If an iPhone 6 is capable of playing Nova Legacy or Real Racing 3 at decent speeds, if you haven't seen my video of extreme gaming on the iPhone 6, I would recommend you watching it. I'll have it up in a card again. I'm just going to be doing cards all over this video. But an iPhone 6 is able to handle gaming pretty decently. What is it about Siri shortcuts that an iPhone 6 cannot handle, or a 6 Plus, or even an iPhone 5S? I did an extreme gaming on the iPhone 5S too. If you want to see it, click this card. And it honestly just makes no sense at all. It doesn't seem like it's too powerful of a thing like Siri shortcuts. It's just you go into settings, or you go into the Siri app, which we still don't even have, and you set things up, and then you go from there. All you have to do is hold down the button and then just speak whatever you want to. Now I have Siri disabled on here because I had to do some other stuff, but it still makes no sense. Like, what is it about Siri shortcuts that this phone cannot handle? Now the main reason I'm upset about this is because looking at the future, if they do this now, I mean, they're going to do it in the future. The past replicates the future, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember who said that. But if they're doing this now, just imagine what they're going to do once the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are out and they're like not being supported anymore. The next phone in release that's going to be disabled is the iPhone 6s. And the iPhone 6s is still a very fast phone, but what are they not going to put on this phone that they're going to put on the newer phones, you know? And it's just going to be a complete cycle over and over again. The iPhone 6s is very fast, much faster than the 6 and 6 Plus, but they're still going to take away features on the next iOS release, and they're just going to keep doing that. I don't really remember them doing that too often with the past iPhones, like with the iPhone 5 when that was being disabled, or with the iPhone 4S. But now they've recently started doing it, and I would understand if they did it on the iPhone 5S, but the reason they're doing it on the older iPhones is because they want people to update. You know, group FaceTime is not coming to these phones. Really sucks. It's super annoying. And now we have Siri shortcuts that aren't coming. What other features are iPhone 6, 6 Plus, and iPhone 5S users not being able to get on iOS 12 that me or anybody else who has an iPhone 10 or newer iPhones, even an iPhone 6s, that we are going to be able to get? And like I said, it doesn't really affect me personally. I have a newer iPhone. I have the newest iPhone. And believe it or not, like I always say, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus were actually the most sold iPhones ever. I'm pretty sure that's going to be taken away at this point once the newer iPhones come out. But these are the most sold iPhones ever. And if they're doing that for a majority of the people who still have this iPhone, then what are they going to do for the next iPhones and the iPhones after that and the iPhones after that, you know? And I understand if it truly was that these iPhones couldn't handle it, but I truly believe that these iPhones can handle not only group FaceTime, but Siri shortcuts as well. Siri shortcuts, I'm pretty sure, is not too powerfully or too memory intensive that it cannot be used on an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 6 Plus. So honestly, I think it's just a little ploy for Apple to go and push people to update their phones more often, or just update them in general. If you're an iPhone 5S user, I totally understand. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I still have love for the iPhone 5S. It's a little bit of an older phone. It's still not the least powerful thing ever. I mean, it's still pretty decent, but I totally understand if Apple were to just do it on the iPhone 5S. But the fact that they're doing it on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus makes it even that much worse. And it's kind of funny too, because Apple has the exact opposite problem that Android has. So Apple, as you know, updates their software more often. But in them doing that, they actually take away features on the older devices. So are you getting a more updated version of iOS? Yes, you are, but you're also getting features taken away. So my closing thoughts on this are, I see like 10% of what they're trying to do, but I just think that it's not the smartest thing for them to do. I just think it's like another ploy for them to go and basically force people to update and upgrade their phones, because they're going to miss out on features. They're not going to be able to fully group FaceTime people. They're not going to be fully able to use Siri shortcuts. And I think Apple knows that Siri shortcuts are about to change, will be very, very awesome. People are going to find really cool things to do with them. It hasn't been released to the public yet, but Apple knows people are going to use it, and then iPhone 6, 6 Plus, and iPhone 5S users are going to be able to not take advantage of that. It's definitely sad, but there's really not much we can do about it. I'm sure there might be Apple alternatives out there, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And guys, that is pretty much it. I'm pretty sad, but it's okay. I would love to hear what you guys think about this though. I hope I'm not the only one. I know there's going to be a lot of people commenting like, oh, you should just go upgrade your phones because if you have an iPhone 6 Plus, it's an old phone, this and that. And I agree, but at the same time, it's not that old. You know, I still think you can use an iPhone 6. I still see so many people who have an iPhone 6, you know, but it's whatever. Like I said, comment if you guys have anything to add. If you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to hear your opinion. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. That'll definitely mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it'll mean so much if you guys could actually hit that. Also, check out the links in the description. Please go and subscribe to my second channel, Lo-Fi Alpaca. The links to that are in the description as well. It says click to sub to my second channel or whatever. Please subscribe to that. That'll mean so much. Check out the other links down there too. My Twitter, my Instagram. All that stuff is down there. Please check out those links as well. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.